Good morning, students of class 7. We will be now doing the part 2 of Delhi Sultanate. Now already we have done it. You have learnt about Kutubuddin Aibak, about his power, then his next generations like Razia Sultana, Iltutmish. You have also learnt about Balban, Ghiyasuddin Balban, and after that the last ruler, that is then Alauddin Khalji, and the last Khalji ruler, that is Khusro Khan. He was killed by Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq. Okay, and next comes the Tughlaq dynasty. Now, before coming to the Tughlaq dynasty, let me tell you something that regarding about Delhi Sultanate, that Muhammad Ghori, he founded the Muslim rule. Okay, and then the main establishment was made by Kutubuddin Aibak, his general. Okay, so if the question comes that who was the founder of the slave dynasty, or who was the founder of the Delhi Sultanate, so you will write down that Kutubuddin Aibak was the founder. He was the first person to establish Delhi Sultanate. Okay, and Muhammad Ghori, he was the founder of the Muslim rule. Okay, now we will start about Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Before starting about Muhammad bin Tughlaq, we will do the about Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq. Now, Muhammad bin Tughlaq, you can see here, first is Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq. He was the founder of this dynasty, followed by Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Okay, and he was the famous ruler. Now, Muhammad bin Tughlaq, he was a very man of confused genius. Okay, this is the very important thing about Muhammad bin Tughlaq, that he was a man of confused genius. That means he was a very learned person, and his plans were also very scientific, but his decisions were not fixed. That means sometimes he made one decision, again the next time he changed his decision, and then shifted to another decision. So what happened, the common people, they faced many hardships. Okay, this is the drawback of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. So Muhammad bin Tughlaq, he was a confused genius, capable administrator. He was a commander and a good scholar. Okay, who thought ahead of times. What is this means, ahead of times? Ahead of times, it means that plans, that means he had a good foresightedness. Okay, he could see the future very much. Plans were very good, but carried out thoughtlessly. So this is the important thing, that his plans were very well planned, but it carried out thoughtlessly in a hurry, which resulted failure. So this is the cause of his failure, that his plans were although very scientific, but they were thoughtless, and in a very hurry those plans were made, which resulted in a failure. Next comes shifting his capital. Now, he shifted his capital from Delhi to Devagiri or Daulatabad, whatever you tell. It is 14 kilometers from Delhi, but the project failed. Okay, why? Because he ordered the entire population to shift from Delhi to Daulatabad. This caused great hardship. So first he decided to shift his capital from Delhi to Devagiri. Again he thought that plan was not good. Again he told his countrymen to shift from Daulatabad to Delhi. So this 2 times changing made the hardships of the citizen. Okay, so another why he changed his decision, that is because secondly left the northwestern frontiers of the empire, okay, exposed to attacks from the Mongols. So he left the northwestern frontiers empty. Okay, and the Mongols came to attack. So that is why he realized his mistake, and again he told to shift from Devgiri to Delhi. So it was a great hardship for the common people. Okay. Acha. Next is the taxation. Taxation in Delhi. Now here you see taxation in Delhi. It needed money to carry out his various plans. To raise more money, he increased the land tax in fertile Ganga. So he realized that more money is needed to make his various plans. As his plans were very much scientific, it needed more money. So he raised the taxes, and he planned to raise the taxes in those areas that were near to Ganga Yamuna Do or the Doab region. Why? Because those regions were very fertile. It would make lots of production. But unfortunately, his decision was not, unfortunately, he was unlucky because famine was struck at that time, and moreover, there was no production. Cultivation was not there, abundant supply, and officials made repressive measures to collect the taxes. Okay, so there was a great misery among the farmers. So ultimately, Sultan faced. Sultan was forced to withdraw his order. Okay, so he saw the problems that were coming by making this new plan. Again, he withdrew his order, and also he made new departments of agriculture to improve production. Next come token currency. Now in this token currency, you see Sultan issued token coins, that is coins of brass or copper. It was stamped with equal value with silver and circulated these coins. Okay, and so this experiment also ended with a great disaster. Why? Because no proper control was there, no checking was there. So as a result, widespread of fraud came, and people started minting coins at home. So large amount of counterfeit coins also caused chaos in trade and commerce. Finally, it withdrew token currency. Okay, and he offered to exchange all the token coins for silver coins. Okay, so this is another failure, that he first wanted to make silver and he wanted to make coins of brass and copper. Okay, then he which is equal to the value of silver, but there were fraud people. Everybody started minting coins, and it created a great chaos in trade and commerce. Okay, and finally he withdrew it, and he offered to exchange all the token coins for silver coins. Achha, next comes expeditions to northwest. So what happened here is, you see, expedition to China and Karachil in the Kumaun and Garhwal region of the Himalayas. This region was the journey was very harsh. Okay, and the soldiers had to had to travel this region. So it was also a great problem over here. So you see here, it was a great disaster. Okay, death of all the soldiers excepting a few. So there was most of the soldiers faced death because the journey was a very harsh one. All his schemes, though sound, but there was a lack of proper planning, so it caused suffering to his country and his officials. Okay, next comes administration. Excellent. He was man of excellent excellent administrator also. He conquests Warangal, Malabar, Dwarasamudra, Madurai, and it's the largest empire. Opened hospitals, almhouses. He believed in divine right, theory of kingship, which means absolute power in the hands. Okay. did not allow the ulemas, that is the priests, to interfere in politics or to dominate him. So you can see here he was a man he was an excellent administrator also. Lots of area he has conquered, that is Warangal, Malabar, Dwarasamudra, Madurai, okay, and made his empire the largest one. He made hospitals, almhouses also. He believed in divine right. What is divine right? That the power goes to only the king. Absolute power will be the king. Okay, only the king will decide. And he did not allow the ulemas, that is the priests, to interfere in politics or to dominate him. Okay, so the priests should not have any much power. So he took all the power himself. And the revenue records compiled under his instructions. So the revenue records, you can see, they are all compiled under his instructions. And Ibn Battuta, you have heard, he was a traveler who came from Morocco, that is in Africa. He was in the court of Muhammad bin Tughlaq for many years, and he told that he was a great scholar, okay, and he was attached with physical science, mathematics, and he attended the sick person, okay. So he was also why he attended the sick person? For watching symptoms of any extraordinary disease. So I told you that he was a man who had a good foresightedness. So he attended the sick person for the to know whether the disease was some extraordinary or not. Okay, then he was a man of brave warrior. Okay, but one thing lacking, that is perversion of judgment, that his judgment was not fixed. So this was the lacking point, or else he was a very good administrator. Next comes the breakup of empire. Okay, by 1329 CE, Mongols entered already deep into India. Okay, Rajputs captured Ranthambore and Chittor. So you see, now we are coming to the breakup of the empire, where by 1329 Mongols came and attacked. Okay, the Rajputs captured Ranthambore and Chittor. Okay, so Rajputs were gaining ground. They captured those areas of Ranthambore and Chittor, established powerful new states like Rajasthan. Muhammad bin Tughlaq died in 1351 CE to put down the revolt in Sindh. Okay, so finally Muhammad bin Tughlaq faced death in 1351 to put down the revolt in Sindh. Firoz Shah Tughlaq, he succeeded after Muhammad bin Tughlaq, but he was not so capable as Ziauddin Barani. He was an Indian historian. He spent 17 years here and wrote about the detailed and authentic narrative, okay, about the reign of Tughlaq dynasty. Next we are coming to the administration under Tughlaq. Okay, Iqtas. What is this Iqtas? Now Iqtas, it started from the reign of Iltutmish. The empire was divided into several large and small pieces of land called Iqtas. So what is this? The empire, it was divided into several large and small pieces of land, which is called Iqtas. So the high-ranking officials, the nobles who were appointed by the king, instead of paying salary to them, the king gave the Iqtas, okay, to them. Instead of salary, the king gave these Iqtas. In return, these Iqtedars, they paid a portion of the revenue they collected from the land. Okay, now the Iqtedars had to give a portion of the revenue which they collected from the land. Okay, now also they had to maintain the body of troops. So these things the Iqtedars had to give in return to the king. They had to maintain the troops, the army, and also they had to give half the portion of the revenue. Okay, now Sultan dependent for the supply. Now as the Sultan had to depend for the supply of the troops, so some of the Iqtedars, they became very powerful, but with Muhammad bin Tughlaq, the Iqtedars couldn't be powerful because he himself was very powerful and his decision was the final decision. Okay, and so next we are coming to the Land tax. Now land tax, you see, Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq, he refused, he reduced steep land tax, okay, imposed by Alauddin Khalji. Then Muhammad bin Tughlaq again raised it in the Doab region. Then Firoz Shah Tughlaq again reduced this, okay. Then improved agriculture, irrigation, these things were improved, agriculture, irrigation, canals were built, okay, open hospitals, almhouses, encouraged scholars through donations. So next we are coming to the role of nobles. Stronger Sultan crushed the power of nobles. Okay, so here like Muhammad bin Tughlaq, he was stronger and he crushed the power of nobles. Okay, so and he also emphasized on the espionage or spying system. But the weaker sultans under their dynasty, their ruling time, the nobles emerged stronger. Okay, so in under Muhammad bin Tughlaq and other stronger sultan, the nobles, the power of the nobles were crushed. But under the rule of weak sultans, the power of the nobles emerged. Okay. Next, we are coming to the invasions of Taimur. So Taimur, you see here, Muhammad Tughlaq, he was the last major Tughlaq dynasty. Okay, and he was attacked by Taimur. He came from Central Asian Tar. He embraced Islam, Taimur. Okay, and he set up kingdom in Samarkand and marched towards Delhi. So Sultan's army was easily defeated because Muhammad Tughlaq was not so much powerful, and Taimur then went to Delhi and destroyed the city over there, and Taimur then ransacked also Meerut and Jammu. Next comes the Saids and the Lodhis. The Saids and the Lodhis in 1414 to 1526 CE. Now here you can see here Sikandar Lodhi, he was a powerful person, and he extended from his empire from present day Punjab to Bihar. He was an able administrator, okay. He encouraged trade and commerce and shifted his capital from Delhi to Agra. So this was the description of Sikandar Lodhi, okay. Next we are coming to the next is Ibrahim Lodhi. So Ibrahim Lodhi, he was the last sultan, arrogant man, treated the Afghan nobles with little respect. Okay. Then the nobles revolted and invited Babur. So Ibrahim Lodhi was a very arrogant man. He was treated with very rough person, and the Afghan nobles, they were very much annoyed with Ibrahim Lodhi, and they revolted against him. The nobles revolted and they invited Babur, okay, who was the king of Kabul at that time, to help them out. So Ibrahim Lodhi, then he was defeated in the first battle of Panipat by Babur in 1526 CE, very important date. And Afghan nobles, but unfortunately what happened for the Afghan nobles thought that Babur would help them and go away, but it didn't happen. Babur stayed there. He established the Mughal rule over here, and the Afghan nobles, they were disappointed as Babur did not return to Kabul. He founded the Mughal rule in Delhi. So I think you have understood the chapter. You go over to the chapter, learn the chapter nicely, and we will again meet in the next class. Okay, thank you.